Since I've been working out with Top Fit Pros, I just have so much energy. My muscles are toned. I've lost 19 pounds. All of it has come together to make me feel much younger and healthier and more vibrant.
TopFitPros.com.
Balance is so important as we get older. If we fall down, we can hurt ourselves. If we break a hip, there's a very high likelihood that we'll die within a short period of time, maybe 6 months, maybe 2 years. Doesn't take long. But these things can cause, these events can cause a rapid deterioration of health and vitality. So it's important to establish the principles of good balance. Now, I can't get into every detail of exercise in this video. Do a lot of that at TopFitPros.com. But right now, I want you to understand why you need to do certain types of exercise in order to maintain that balance and avoid those disastrous moments. So we know that, for example, the inner ear is important to balance. And a lot of people stop right there, and that's all they think about is that to balance properly, they need to have good inner ear functionality. But really, that's a very small portion of the whole picture. Your body has to function properly in order for you to have good balance, because you have to have control. It's not enough to sense that you're off balance. You also need to be able to adjust your body to maintain balance when you're in an unstable situation. Say you're stepping on a wobbly surface, or you take a misstep of some sort. You need to be able to catch your balance. And how does that happen? That happens by having body parts that function with each other to enable you to have the functionality of balance. And that comes down to hips. Very important. Your hips are very important as a part of balance. Why? Well, take a look here. If you think about it, your hips are connected to your thighs and your spine. When you jack up a hip, suddenly your spine is tipped over this way. Well, the center of gravity is here in the sternum. Some people say it's down behind the navel or a little lower, but it's right up in the central part of the core. And when you tip your core to one side, when you tip your whole body to one side, then suddenly you're off balance in that direction. And so what happens is a lot of people become very fearful and will not be comfortable going to one foot. But we can't walk around. We can't really do things in life if we can't get up on one foot, because, you know, every time you take a step, you've gone to one foot. So the life becomes full of fear if we don't have good balance. So we want you to be able to establish good balance. That's why a lot of the exercises we do for balance and stability in Top Fit Pros is those exercises are centered in large part around hip control. And we'll have challenges to balance, unstable surfaces and so on, but the starting thrust is to establish solid hip control. And where do you have hip control? Well, you have a lot of different movements that the hips have to be able to make, and we have to be in control of. There's the hiking of the hips. So you should be able to hike the hips and still keep your center of gravity over your feet. There's these tilts. That's a posterior pelvic tilt, because if you did it like that, the water in a bucket would run out the back. If you run out the front, that's an anterior pelvic tilt. So you're moving your hips back and forth. Those are tilts. You also have movement of the hip this way with the leg going up and out and around. So lots of different movements like that. You need to be able to control your hips through leg movement, through body movement, You can do that in the down position on the mat floor. You can do it in the up position, balancing on one foot. You can hold on to a surface. You can lightly touch a surface in order to establish balance so you don't fall to the side where you don't have a foot to catch you with. So there are a lot of different elements, and we walk you through that in Top Fit Pros. But what I want you to get out of this is an understanding that hips are key. And even if your hips are not cooperating right now, if you've got a situation where if you try to bring up one hip, your shoulder goes in a funny direction, or you have difficulty with rotation, difficulty with swiveling the hips forward, doing tilts forward and back, all those things. I have worked with clients many times to overcome these kinds of problems. And if we go through exercises that systematically address different aspects of hip control, then gradually you can regain a lot of those mechanisms of control over balance, and your balance can dramatically improve. I've seen it in folks who are in their 20s, 30s, 40s, all the way up into their 80s, seeing big changes in their ability to balance. So, but you have to go at it in a systematic way. You need to understand the principles and elements behind balance. There's ankle control, of course, that's a big part of it, but the hips, they're really, really central. So think about that. Think about how that's going to apply to how you go through a process of developing your exercise program. If this is an area of concern to you, then you definitely want to keep that in mind and have that as part of what you do. We do that at Top Fit Pros for you. We'll talk more about other issues that are of great concern to seniors next time. Till then, see you later.
TopFitPros.com